Another Obamacare change. President Obama making another change just hours before heading to Hawaii for his vacation. And of course, this change also coming just days before the Obamacare sign-up deadline hits us. This surprise new change exempts people whose policies were canceled from the individual mandate. In other words, the ones who had insurance who had their policies canceled because of Obamacare will not have to pay the mandate penalty for 1 year for not having insurance because they can't now get it under Obamacare. And, of course, also as the insurance industry is steaming mad, Dr. Ben Carson joins us. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Greta.
I suspect that the White House is now admitting by this new change that the Obamacare is a hardship for many.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's just the latest edition of the weekly unconstitutional changes that are made. But, you know, it's sort of like having a baseball game. You have two teams and you have an umpire, but the umpire says, I'm going to play on this team. This will be the government's team. And you get to change the rules anytime they start falling behind. And after a while, even the most ardent fans begin to say, you know, there's something wrong with this. And I think that's what's happening with the American people. And what we can hope for is that eventually the administration says, you know what, maybe it's time for us to relook at this. And let's look at it in a fair way, in a way that works for everybody, not just for my constituency.
Well, yeah, I think that what's particularly peculiar about this is that the Congress legislates, passes a law, and the president's to execute and has some discretion in terms of how you enforce or execute it. But at some point, when there are so many significant changes made to it, so many people are exempted and so many different changes that you really sort of defeat the original intent of the law and how it was developed. At some point, the president oversteps. It's a gray area. I mean, there's no magical formula. But, you know, it does seem that this law is quite fluid. We don't know really what's in it.
Well, it doesn't really resemble its original form very much and will continue to morph. And when we get to the end product, it won't be anything like what it was expected to be. And that's a problem. But think about the problem with the small businesses and with individuals who are trying to decide what they're going to do for their future. I expect probably that Christmas shopping will be down significantly this year because people don't know what kind of premiums they're going to be paying. They can't plan their lives. And to keep people in limbo like this is the reason that the government was never supposed to get this big. It was never supposed to be this intrusive because it would completely destroy the American dream.
You know, if the people can't buy it this year, the ones who are going to be exempted for the mandate, what in the world makes you think that a year from now they can buy it, especially if a lot of young people don't buy into the Obamacare, and thus the next year when we get the ratings that they're going to be, the numbers for insurance prices going to go up so much higher. What about these people next year?
Well, obviously, we're just delaying the problem, and everybody understands that we're delaying the problem, and that's why you're not seeing employers rushing to hire new people. You're not seeing any of the problems that are such a drag on our economy clearing up. They're not going to clear up. People are smarter than that. They know that this is going to be a continuing problem, that the rules are going to continue to change, that the whole thing is going to continue to morph. But the good thing is, eventually, it's going to become so clear that we need to make changes, and we, the American people, will make those changes, and we will be able to live by logic and common sense, and we will be able to move the economy forward. We will be able to do things that help everybody in our society. This is going to happen. I really feel confident.
Dr. Carson, thank you. Always nice to see you, sir.